Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Dragon Ball Nation. Now today I got a very special video. I got my friend Phil on in the video today. Phil, why don't you say hello to everyone, I guess.
Hey, Asura's gonna beat Goku.
Didn't even introduce what the versus match was, but yes, Asura versus Goku. And for those of you who do not know who Asura is, I'm gonna explain who he is in a little bit. But some of you have been waiting for this fight for a while. Only a couple of you. I know one of my subscribers, Dr. Love 307, has, and he has a pretty good channel himself, I've noticed. So check him out. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. But other than that, I guess we might as well just go ahead and explain who Asura is. So before we get into the background of this character, Asura, I just want to mention there's going to be a lot of spoilers for this game. So if any of you had any interest in the game before, I would suggest you tune off, go get the game, and then come back. But for those of you who are going to stay, there will certainly be many spoilers. If anyone is worried about that, there will be pretty much all the spoilers that you could think of. Anyways, Asura, to give a backstory, is a demigod. He's one of the 8 Guardian Generals who would fight the Goma. It's a species of enemies, I suppose, that would attack the humans and all the other creatures of the earth and the demigods themselves, and they basically form an army to fight them. And Asura was one of the Guardians, and he was framed to have killed their emperor by the other demigods. They had set him up, and he basically went through the whole entire story of the game in a complete rage trying to save his daughter, Mithra, after the death of his wife, Durga. Now, he eventually does team up with another demigod. In a way, he teams up later. It's an interesting little side piece to the story where they kind of are enemies, similar to Goku and Vegeta in a way. But that's basically a simple backstory on the character, just so you guys know what you're getting into. So, pretty much since we already know, everyone on this channel, I would assume, knows most about Goku. We're going to be talking mostly about Asura here, because we already know what Goku can do, and I don't think many of you are familiar with Asura. So give me a demonstration of what he can do in terms of strengths and feats, Phil.
Well, let's use the Asura after he got the Mantra Reactor. And by the way, the Mantra Reactor, it's the source of all the demigods' power, along with 7 trillion souls of human beings.
So the Mantra Reactor is the source of pretty much all energy.
Not all energy, but demigods, they were extremely powerful as well. They were all planet busters, and then you got 7 trillion souls.
Huh. And you got more there. I can clearly see you have much more to talk about.
Do ya?
Let's impress the viewers here.
Alright, so let's talk about one feat he did, I guess, and that was he killed the guy who creates galaxies.
And who would that be?
Chakravartin.
Explain who Chakravartin is.
Chakravartin, he is the creator of all mantra, and he gave it to Asura's grandparents, their ancestors, everyone before Asura pretty much. He's created the earth, and when he fought Asura one of the times, he was throwing planets, suns, and orbs of cosmic energy the size of planets at Asura, and Asura was just blowing all through them like they were nothing.
But explain to what state Asura was in.
He was in his destructor state.
And how was he attaining that form?
With the Mantra Reactor. That's the only way he can attain it.
So,
because without the Mantra Reactor, he would die trying to get to that state because he'd have too much wrath in him, and it would just kill him.
Would you be able to say that he probably wouldn't be able to use that form in a fight against Goku?
Does he have the Mantra Reactor already, or does
we don't want any outside influence here.
No outside influence?
No.
Then,
so that means no Super Saiyan God.
No, he couldn't, I guess.
So, considering it's fair enough not to use outside influence, because if we were going to let him use that, we could easily just let Goku fuse into Vegeta or with Vegeta and go, Super Saiyan 3 or 4 Gogeta or whatever. So, without any of Asura's outside influence to gain strength, what's the most impressive, what's the strongest he's been?
Well, some of the things he's done, I'll go over the first one because it's probably the weakest thing he's done noticeably. One time he was fighting the demigod Wizen, the god of violence. And Wizen got bigger than the Earth, 2 times bigger. And he attempted to kill Asura with just a poke, but Asura caught his finger and blew him up with a series of punches.
Now, if I remember correctly, did he catch it or did he actually just punch it?
He caught it, then he started punching it.
Basically, and there should be gameplay.
And he broke all his arms punching it. So
that was very early on in the game, though.
Yeah, that was really early on.
But there should be gameplay to demonstrate most of the things we talk about here. But continue on with other things.
Alright, so the second thing is Asura, he was near death. He got stabbed by his former master. He was almost beaten to death by his former master. Then he was getting beaten, dogpiled by a bunch of Goma, the dark spirit of the earth. So, this is what happened. He just got so mad that one of his arm spots, he didn't have either of his arms. That just became a giant arm with a giant fist. And he punched through mountains while killing thousands of Goma at the same time. Then he made it rain fists that killed hundreds of thousands of Goma in seconds. And then he punched through one of the strongest Goma in the game.
Now, just so the viewers understand, is basically in Asura's Wrath, it's about a 8 to 10 hour long game. In the game, you don't really see much growth in power like you do in Dragon Ball Z, where you would see Goku start off as a child, and then he would, you know, gradually increase in strength. Asura just kind of gets strong just because. Yep. Isn't that right?
That's exactly it.
It literally, most of the time,
when he was near death, that's when we saw him at his strongest. Yeah, and that's what kind of makes me mad.
It seems like it's similar to the Hulk, is the madder he gets, he does, in fact...
It makes less sense than the Hulk.
And to talk about that mantra form, what happens if he gets mad and he... Considering we can't use outside source to, you know, use that mantra form you were talking about, he could potentially... He can use it, but it would cause him death, basically, right?
The mantra form?
Or what was the form you were talking about?
If he couldn't reach the mantra form, he'd die from too much anger before he could. That's the problem.
So basically, he can get stronger by becoming angry, but if he gets too angry, he can die.
Yeah.
Huh. So continue talking about other things that he's done with the outside influence, of course.
Without the outside influence, the other impressive thing he did was he became in this form known as Berserker Asura. Simply transforming into this, he destroyed an entire fleet of demigod ships.
So, what else can Asura do in his Berserker form?
After he transformed, he destroyed an entire different fleet of demigod ships by blasting them. And then after that, he almost got killed by the Brahmastra cannon, but he was able to match it for a few seconds, and I found that pretty impressive.
Explain the Brahmastra cannon.
They tried using it against the Goma Vlitra, the source of all Goma, the evil of the earth. They tried using it against him, and he is apparently the strongest character in the game pre-Chakravartin.
And now explain exactly what the cannon does. Like, what's it use?
It uses the mantra they've collected pretty much from the earth and all that.
Now, I know it's a long video, people, and I'm not talking too much about Goku, but like I said, we already know Goku, and I'll address him later in comparison to Asura. But, Phil, tell me how durable Asura is.
How durable is he? He's been killed a few times by his rival Yasha.
Well, he was technically kind of petrified, wasn't he?
Yeah, petrified. He always comes back.
Hundreds of years.
Oh, yeah, thousands of years at one point, but he always comes back from death. But that's not what we're talking about. Durability.
So is Goku.
Yeah, that's true. But Asura pulls himself out of hell and all that. So, durability-wise, Asura, he was stabbed and beaten and all that. I already said that when I talked about how he was fighting his former master and then the army of Goma. He survived all that. The only reason he died was because he got too angry and he just petrified himself. And that's why he gets the mantra reactor later, so he doesn't die from being too angry.
Anything else you can say about his durability from what the game demonstrated? I know it doesn't show a lot of growth. It's not very consistent.
Not at all. I don't know. I think Goku might have him on durability for this one, because it doesn't really show Asura's durability that much. So how durable is Goku?
Well, we already have seen like how durable he can be in the kind of blasts he's taken from enemies such as Cell and Majin Buu and Majin Vegeta as well. But one thing to mention, in addition to, you know, we can't really exactly decipher how durable he is because there's a lot of filler and inconsistencies in the whole series because it's so large. But one thing we do know is that he can put an energy shield around himself using his ki, and if he does that as a Super Saiyan 3, he's going to be pretty impenetrable from Asura, I believe. Definitely more durable than planets in my honest opinion, because if you remember back in the Saiyan Saga, Vegeta said he could blow up the Earth with his Gallic gun, and I mean, if we're looking at the end of maybe even Battle of Gods style Super Saiyan 3 Goku, just think about how many more times durable he is than, you know, him in that form. Got anything else to add to that?
And Cell can blow up an entire solar system.
He would claim to. Whether or not he would hit the sun that would blow up the entire solar system, I believe he probably could have enhanced his wave across the whole solar system, because you remember that Frieza did blow up Planet Vegeta, which is 10 times denser than Earth. He blew that up in his first form, and Super Perfect Cell is leagues, light years more powerful than Frieza in his first form.
Yeah, so Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he could definitely output enough force to be pretty much impenetrable. So how strong is Goku?
To get
physical strength by.
Well, in Namek, we saw him get basically an island thrown at him by Frieza, and he smiled and caught it. Now later in the series, during his training before the Otherworld tournament, we did see him lifting 40 tons as a Super Saiyan. Now, whether or not you want to count that as legitimate source or not, you can go off of that. But we know that Goku is a very, very strong individual indeed. There's not a whole lot of canon sources to, you know, figure out how strong he is. But I think Asura may have him on the strength category, considering he did basically stop the finger of Wizen, who was bigger than the planet he was on, and I think Asura would have him beat in the strength category, to be perfectly honest. So I think, without using any outside sources, I would say Goku would have the upper hand with his energy blasts, attacks, and all that kind of stuff. He's more durable in my opinion,
and definitely speed.
Yeah, he's definitely much faster, multiple times faster than speed of light if you really want to think about it. I mean, Gotenks, as a regular Super Saiyan, ran around the Earth, I believe, a dozen times in a few seconds. So, I mean, wherever you want to put Goku's strength in there, Goku's around that.
I'm still not sure who's more durable between the two, though.
I would say as a base durability, Asura would have the edge, but Goku can use the energy fields.
Exactly.
And I haven't seen much demonstration of Asura's speed, have you?
No, not really. Not until later in the game.
When he acquires his mantra?
Yeah, when he acquires the Destructor form.
Yeah, so basically I don't think that Asura could really survive in his regular forms, and even maybe his Destructor, depending on how long he can actually stay in that form. He probably has some sort of a time limit, I would figure.
The Destructor form?
Yes.
No, there's no time limit. Well, once he's knocked out, he can still go to it, but it's harder to get to, obviously, once he's knocked back to his base form.
I don't think that I think Goku would definitely be able to defeat him with a you know, very large blast that would, with the power of a solar system explosion, at least I think would destroy him, and it would be very compact into maybe a Kamehameha wave, because we've seen that characters in Dragon Ball Z had been able to compress their attacks to still be very powerful and devastating, but to not damage any of the outside environment and, you know, innocent civilians. But I guess we might as well just continue, considering, you know, without any outside sources, I do think Goku would win. But let's go and talk about outside sources, because people probably want to hear more about that mantra form when he was fighting Chakravartin. So let's get into that. So, Phil, basically explain, with the outside influence of the mantra powers and all of that, at his highest potential, explain exactly what Asura can do.
The first outside power he got was from his daughter Mithra. That's when he transformed into his mantra form, where basically hundreds of his arms combined into two big arms. And he was able to defeat Vlitra in this form with the help of Yasha. And he even challenged Chakravartin, who is basically the creator of Earth, and his name stands for the one true God. And he was able to challenge him, but Chakravartin easily beat him.
And as a reminder, he was getting in his mantra form, he was getting planets and suns thrown at him. And what else was getting thrown at him?
No, this was not, that was the Destructor form you're thinking
in his
of.
Destructor form.
In his mantra form, he turned into Berserker, actually, and that appeared to be stronger after his daughter Mithra gave him the mantra. But Destructor, that's later.
So, go over how he exactly got this Destructor form, and if it would really, be very useful in a active battle.
The Destructor form is very powerful, but the important part is the mantra core that we already talked about. This gave him the power of the other general demigods, and they have the power of the most powerful mantra. And he also got 7 trillion souls worth of power from it. And this is the power that gave him the ability to blow up entire solar systems with cosmic energy waves going at him without getting tired.
Well, I was going to include Super Saiyan 4 into this debate, whether or not people liked that or not, but it was clearly from what you just heard, cosmic powers and solar systems being thrown at him. I don't think Goku could, as a Super Saiyan 3 or even 4 for that matter, could really handle that. So, since we're going to use outside sources and help here, I'm going to cheat a little bit and say, how do you think he'd fare against Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta?
Well, here's the dumb thing I'm going to say about Asura. He got knocked out of his, not only his Destructor form, but also his mantra form by Chakravartin. Then he beat Chakravartin in his base form.
It literally had made no sense.
It made absolutely no sense.
That's what makes this a very difficult debate. But
He took mantra form out in literally half a second. And he lifted a finger. That's how he did it. And then Asura came back somehow in his base form and took that guy out.
So, there's really no way to be able to tell.
There's honestly no way.
I don't think that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta could beat him in a 15-minute time limit, but just because we should probably close this off, because this is gonna get really stupid talking about
it is.
how dumb the power scaling is in Asura's Wrath in general.
We can't find out the power scaling.
There's no way. There's not a manga or anything like that. So it's just a game. But just to close it off, safely say Super Saiyan 4 Vegito could probably beat him.
Probably.
If you really think,
there's no time limit really either.
If you think about how strong he would be, but I know that's kind of an awkward conclusion, but basically the main point was just to figure out who would win a fight without any outside influence between Goku and Asura, and I think we both agree that Goku would win as a Super Saiyan 3.
Well, here's what I think. I think Asura would do his thing where he gets too mad and kind of kills himself when he's fighting Super Saiyan 3.
You think that would happen?
I think so.
I
guess
there.
Goku would win.
I can agree there.
Yeah.
But I guess that's basically it, guys. If you didn't catch our last debate kind of video, it was Hulk versus Broly, and it was also Hulk versus Super Perfect Cell, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description.
There was a 150 billion ton mountain at least.
Yeah, he always gets on my back about that. But that's basically it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you're new around here, definitely subscribe, because there'll be more versus matches like this in the future. But let me know what you guys think of this. Comment other versus matches in the description below, or not description, comment section. But yeah, that's been it, guys. I'd like to thank Philip for coming on.
Yep.
And I'll catch you guys later.
Asura the traitor! Asura the destructor! You do not belong in this world!